Hey guys, thank you very much for tuning in to another video. I'm your host, FFXIV, and today we've got a very different one here for you. Today we're going to be delving into one of my favorite mini games in one of my favorite MMORPGs, Final Fantasy XIV. The mini game that I'm referring to is called Triple Triad. This particular game was first introduced back in Final Fantasy VIII, where you and another player play on a 3x3 grid with cards, and the goal of the game is to capture as many of your opponent's cards as possible without allowing them to capture yours. So today we're going to go into a bit of an advanced look. So first and foremost, if you guys want to learn more about Triple Triad and what it is in the world of Final Fantasy XIV, I'm going to have a link in the description down below that's going to take you right to the Final Fantasy website, and that'll teach you everything you know about the basics of Triple Triad. So today we're going to take a look at a few different things. The basic rules of Triple Triad are fairly simple. You have 5 cards in your deck, no more, no less. You only have 1 5-star card allowed in a deck. You can have up to 2 4-star cards. However, if you have a 5-star card in the deck, you're only allowed to actually add 1 4-star deck, and the rest of the cards have to be either 3 stars or below. There will be various rules set by region, and that's going to be the point of the video here today. We're going to go over a few decks that you can use in some of the more advanced regional rules. So we're going to be taking a look at Reverse, Ascension, and we're going to go through a couple of regular advanced deck types that you can take in pretty much any other rule set, whether it be swap, plus, same, 3 open, sudden death, all things like that. But like I said, check that link down below if you want to know all the different types of regional rules that you can come across in the game. If you like what you see today, if you learned something new, I absolutely would love it if you drop a like on this video, and make sure that you do subscribe to the channel as well with notifications on, because that'll let you know exactly when more videos go live. If you want to follow me on all my social media accounts, the best place you can follow for all the news and updates going on with my channel and the streams will be over on Twitter at RiderPride639. And speaking of the streams, guys, make sure that you're also following me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/RiderPride639. There I go live 3 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, first things first, let's go ahead and get into the different decks and deck styles for each of the regional rules. Alright guys, so the first deck that we're going to cover today is the Reverse deck. So, contrary to your typical standard Triple Triad deck, Reverse decks are basically built in reverse. So rather than having your high numbers flipping the low numbers, this one is built so that your low numbers will actually flip the high numbers, so, and that includes even your aces as well. So a 9 will flip an ace, a 1 will flip a 2, and so on and so forth. What I'm also going to do is I'm also going to I'm going to show the cards on the screen just up here, so you guys can get a better look in its full-size glory, so you can see basically where the numbers are positioned and why I selected these particular cards. So the way I've built this deck is basically to have a lot of low numbers covering as many directions and as many corners as possible. So this way, if I go first, if I go second, I have a lot of different plays at my disposal, so I can use these numbers to my advantage and be able to flip my opponent's cards more easily. A lot of the NPCs that play reverse decks in this game don't really have a very good reverse deck built. They have some good cards that will flip quite easily, but they don't typically play reverse quite as aggressive as I do, is what you're going to see in the gameplay in the background here. So first and foremost, let's go over each of the individual cards, and I'm going to show them right on the screen over here. And then you guys can go ahead and hunt for them, and we have some luck with this one. So, the first card of the reverse deck is called Colibri. This particular card can be obtained from an NPC named Flishoriel. You can get to this guy in the Battle Hall, which is accessible through the Duty Finder, and also part of the Gold Saucer. The second card that you're going to go find is the Chocobo card. This one's probably the easiest one to get. This one you can purchase for 600 MGP at the Triple Triad Trader in the reception area north of the Aetheryte in the Gold Saucer. The third card you're going to go after is called Jaily Cat. This particular card can be obtained from an NPC named Nose, N-O-E-S. And he can be found, he's located in Old Gridania. The fourth card that you're going to be looking for is called Amal Ja. So much like the Beast Tribe located in Thanalan, you can obtain the Amal Ja card from an NPC named Memaroon, and he can be located in Upper Lanosia. Fifth card for the deck is called Deep Eye. This particular card can be one from an NPC named Dominiac, and he can be found in the Kurthas Western Highlands. So there's the cards there. There's the deck. Try this one out. I guarantee you guys will have some success with it. Just make sure that you watch your plays, and make sure you're watching for extra rules as well. Sometimes that plus and same can really throw a wrench in your plans if you're not too careful. All right, the second deck that we're going to be talking about today is actually two decks for one rule, and this is called the Ascension rule. So this one plays like your standard Triple Triad. High cards flip low cards. However, Ascension, anytime you play a card that has a card type, such as Garlean, Scion, Beast, and I believe there's also ones for Primals as well. Anytime you play one of those cards onto the field, that card and every card of the same type in your hand and your opponent's hand, all of the values will increase by 1. So what this basically means is that as you continue to play more and more cards, these cards will get more and more powerful as the game progresses. So I've got two different kinds of decks here. The first one that we're going to talk about is the Garlean Ascension deck. So Empire cards are extremely powerful. These ones can also be a little bit harder to get, a little bit harder to find. So you do need to be very, very well prepared before you go after these particular guys. But ultimately, this particular deck is really, really fun to play. The Garlean deck does play a lot more aggressively compared to its Scion counterpart. So it is very, very easy to capture cards early on, but does have a tendency to have weaker backends on it, where you can be exposed if you're not careful. So let's go ahead and get into each of the individual cards. And again, I'm going to show them right up over here, and I'm going to tell you exactly where you can get them from. So the first card that we're going to talk about in the Garlean Ascension deck is the Ultima Weapon. This particular card can be obtained in a couple of different areas. You can either earn it as a drop from the Minstrel's Ballad Ultima's Bane Trial, or you can actually get it as a random drop from Gold and Mithril packs from the Triple Triad trader in the Gold Saucer. The second card that you're going to be looking for in this deck is Gaius Van Belsar. So if you remember the antagonist from A Realm Reborn, he's got a card in this deck too. The two places that you can get him from, you can either earn it from the Praetorium, which is the main story quest level 50 dungeon, or you can obtain it from an NPC called Indolent Imperial, who is located in Mordona. The third card that you're going to be looking for in this deck is Nero Tolskeva. So again, another one of the antagonists, another one of Belsar's lackeys from Praetorium. You can locate his card also from the Indolent Imperial NPC located in Mordona. The fourth card that you're going to be looking for is named Dawan. This particular card, another really, really powerful one. I urge you guys, make sure you go after this one whenever you get a chance. This one is not obtainable until you get pretty much to the very end of the current expansion with Shadowbringers. This one is located from an NPC by the name of Arseu, who is located in Gangos. So for those of you who have been doing the Bosian front, the Southern Bosian front, for relic weapons and things like that, the NPC is located here in Gangos. And finally, the fifth card, another Garlean antagonist, is named Asahi Sas Brutus. If you remember him from the storyline, he can be located he can be earned from an NPC by the name of Hashinan, who is located in Yanxia. So this particular deck is, like I said, very, very powerful, very, very aggressive, but does have some lower number weaknesses that can be exploited if you're not careful. So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and move on to the other Ascension deck. Alright, so we're moving on to the Scion Ascension deck. So this one uses Scions of the Seventh Dawn. These ones, again, can be a little bit difficult to obtain, but with a little bit of patience and a little bit of luck, you guys will be able to build this deck with relative ease. The big thing about this deck compared to the Garlean deck is that this one doesn't play very, very aggressively. It's kind of defensive early on. The numbers are very, very balanced on the cards. So you may not necessarily be flipping within the first couple of turns. However, this deck does become almost unstoppable a little bit later on in the game once you get to cards 3, 4, and 5. The numbers, like I said, they're very, very balanced, so it really doesn't have any back-end weaknesses to it. It doesn't play very aggressive, but like I said, in the late game, you can start flipping multiple cards in the late game if your opponent positions them poorly enough. And yeah, your ability to protect your cards is really, really well in this particular instance as well. So again, cards are going to show up right over here. Let's go ahead and go through each of the cards that are in the Scion Ascension deck. So the first card that we've got is the Stormblood, Alphino, and Alice card. This one can be obtained from an NPC named Miro Rogo, who is located in the Gervanian hinterlands. The easiest way to find him is actually underneath the hills where you would find Matoya, Matoya's cave. Miro Rogo is actually sitting outside the cave there. The second card that you're going to go after is Heavensward Thancred. Now this one you can't actually purchase or earn anywhere. The Heavensward Thancred card is actually awarded to you as part of the Triple Decker 4 achievement, which you can obtain once you get 150 unique Triple Triad cards. So once your collection reaches 150 cards, this achievement will give you the Heavensward Thancred card for your collection. The third card that you're going to go after is just a standard Thancred card. So not the Heavensward or Stormblood Thancred, just the regular Thancred card. You can obtain this one in 2 different places. There are 2 NPCs that have him. You can obtain him either from an NPC called Fufulupa, who is located in Western Thanalan, or an NPC called Hab, who is located in Southern Thanalan. The fourth card that you're going to go after is Y'shtola. So again, this is just the basic Y'shtola, not the Heavensward or Stormblood versions of her. So Y'shtola can again be obtained from 2 different NPCs. You can find them you can find her first from an NPC called Rasat Riki, who is located in the Limsa Lominsa Upper Decks, or from an NPC called Gagaruju, who is located in Eastern Lenosha. And finally, the last card in this particular deck is Papalimo and Ida. This one, again, can be obtained from 2 different NPCs. The first NPC that you can get them from is Vorsail Hilwa, who is located in New Gridania, or an NPC called Buscaron, who is located in the South Shroud. So like I said, this deck plays very, very well late game. It takes a couple turns for it to basically get the ball rolling, but once you get those first couple cards down, flipping cards becomes really, really easy with the way the numbers are balanced out on these cards. So hopefully you enjoyed these Ascension decks. Let's go ahead and get into just the regular decks that you'll be taking probably through most of your journey throughout Eorzea. Alright guys, so this is one of 2 standard decks that I would like you guys to take throughout Eorzea. These particular decks are going to be your kind of your basic format. They will play in basically anything that isn't Ascension or Reverse. So the first deck that we're going to go through here is a pretty standard build. It's got some great numbers. It's got some very, very good balance in the numbers as well. You've got your 5-star and 4-star card with your ace in the hole. The deck itself doesn't play very aggressive. It kind of plays in a more balanced style of play. So it does have a couple of weaknesses with some of the numbers, but as long as you're playing careful, you can usually bait your opponents out to playing cards kind of out of position, where you can get some really, really easy flips. So the first card that we're going to talk about here is Estinian. So Estinian can be obtained from an NPC called Gibberlon, who is located in Foundation. The second card that we're going to talk about is Lucia Gojunius. This particular card can be obtained from an NPC named Wawalago. They can be located in the Limsa Luminsa lower decks. The third card that we're going to talk about here is Isael. And Isael can be located from can be earned from an NPC named Marsashan, who is located in the Dravanian Forelands. The fourth card that we're going to add to this deck is Aymeric. And Aymeric can be obtained from an NPC named Yayake, who is located in Ulda in the Steppes of Nald. And then lastly, the last card of the deck is Terra Branford. This one can actually be obtained in 4 different places. The first 2 places that you can get them from, you can earn them from NPCs. You can find them, or you can earn them either from an NPC named Luena, who's located in the Gold Saucer right beside the reception area. You can also get them from an NPC called the Hall Overseer, who's located in the Battle Hall, and that, again, you can get to the Battle Hall through the Duty Finder. You can also get her as a random drop only from Mithril packs. And lastly, you can also earn it as a drop from the Dragon's Neck dungeon. So this is the dungeon where you fight Ultros and Typhon. This is the Final Fantasy VI particular dungeon. You do have to unlock this one through one of the side story quests. If I'm not mistaken, I believe you can unlock this one from the Hildebrand storyline quests. So this particular deck, like I said, it's a very, very well-rounded deck. It does have some kind of weaknesses. If you find that your opponent is playing too defensively in certain cases, that's where you'll take over with the second deck, and we're going to get into that right now. All right, and then the final deck that you guys will probably want to take with you is built somewhat similarly. So in this particular deck, Estinian and Lucia both are actually included in this deck as well, but I'll tell you what the last 3 cards are and where to obtain them. The difference between this deck and the one previous, this one, the numbers are a little bit weaker on certain sides, but the numbers that you do play with tend to play a lot more aggressively. So if deck 1 doesn't seem to be working for you, if your opponent's playing too defensively there, deck 2 can definitely turn the tide of battle there with its aggressive numbers. But again, you do have to watch. Some of the numbers are a little bit weaker in favor of some more stronger numbers on multiple corners. So do watch your plays very, very carefully on this one here. But like I said, where deck 1 fails, deck 2 will usually pick up right where you left off and get you a few more wins. So there's only 3 cards that we're going to talk about on this one here. Like I said, Estinian and Lucia are both already included in deck 2, but here are the other 3 cards that you can swap out. The first card that we're going to talk about is named Hilda. Hilda can be obtained from an NPC called Idle Imperial, and he is located in Aziz La. The fourth card in this deck is Sid Garland. So our very, very own Scion engineer has his own card. It's a very, very good card. You can also get this one in 2 different areas. You can either earn him from an NPC named Sezul Totolok, who is located in North Shroud, or you can also obtain him as a random drop from gold packs from the Triple Triad trader in the Gold Saucer. And the final card for this deck is actually a fairly easy one to obtain. It's Squall Leonhardt, our very, very own favorite antagonist from Final Fantasy VIII, has a card in this game. He is actually earned from the Triple Team 2 achievement, which you get by beating 30 different NPCs at Triple Triad. So once you've faced off against 30 different named NPCs and you've beaten them all at least once, this particular achievement will unlock for you, and it will give you the Squall Leonhardt card. So there's no other way to obtain the card. You do have to complete this achievement in order to get it. So very, very attainable. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I had a lot of fun putting this one together, and you guys get to basically take a look into how I play my particular decks and how my play style actually comes out during these games. If you like what you saw here, just going to quickly remind you guys, make sure that you do subscribe to the channel with notification bell on. Don't forget to drop the video a like as well, and drop me a comment down below. What kinds of decks do you guys like to play with in Triple Triad? Are there any changes that you would make to the decks that I've presented to you here today? I would love to absolutely hear from you guys right down below. Also, if you guys want to see more of this Final Fantasy XIV content, absolutely let me know in the comments as well. Tell me what you guys would like to see me try and cover for videos. I would like to actually do a lot more of this stuff in the future here for you guys, so let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll absolutely do my best to try and address each and every one of you, and hopefully we'll be able to continue on this trying to make some more videos here for you. So like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Guys, make sure you're following me over on Twitter at RiderPride639 if you want all the latest news and updates on what's happening with me and my streams. And lastly, speaking of the streams, don't forget, make sure that if you guys want to see all this action live as it happens and when it happens, be sure to follow me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/RiderPride639. where I go live 3 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that's going to do it for me, guys. We will hopefully see you guys in the next video. What it's going to be, it's hard to say for sure, but we'll definitely think of something. I'll definitely be reading your guys' comments. So you guys have yourselves a great weekend. Have yourselves a great week coming up. And until next time, take care.